will say the Lagos State House of Assembly and the Benue, the circumstances, between the two of them seem to be very different.
They're not different.
They're not.
The similarity between them is lawlessness, acting in violation of the Constitution.
Yeah, but
doing things that they ought to know are unlawful.
The 36 lawmakers will argue with you that they are not lawless.
Which of them?
The 36 lawmakers.
In which state are you
in Lagos? That supports Miranda.
The point I'm talking about is involvement of security agents. Their complicity. I'm not talking about who is right. But if somebody has removed me and I've challenged the person's action, I should sit back and await the outcome of my lawsuit. I should not procure law enforcement agent or any person to take back power. The law frowns at self-help. Because if everybody takes the force of his arms to get that which he or she wants, law and order will break down and the society will be worse for it. There's no way a House of Assembly can purport to have the power to recommend or to remove a chief judge without the involvement of the NJC.
In Benue State, the NBA, of course, released a statement on that particular issue. But we had the opportunity to speak with the leader of the House of Assembly in Benue State.
What did he tell you?
And he said that, taking a reading of the section where, they derive their powers to remove a speaker, or according to a chief judge, they received the the request from the governor, and that they acted accordingly, according to the section that empowers them to act.
Tell him that he ought to bury his head in shame. Many years ago, from the days of Bukola Saraki as governor of Kwara State, this issue went all the way to the Supreme Court, similar circumstances. And the Supreme Court in no uncertain terms said that the NJC, and that's the case of Elelu Habib, an Attorney General of the Federation, and the Supreme Court said that when you read section, I think 153, 271, and 292 of the Constitution, there's no way a House of Assembly can purport to have the power to recommend or to remove a chief judge without the involvement of the NJC. And if a so-called majority leader could, in this day and time, in the light of a Supreme Court decision which has stated the law clearly, then I worry at the quality of persons who are getting elected into our various legislatures. And if he could still be arguing in the light of a letter from NJC, let's assume that those of us, we at the NBA were wrong. But the highest National Judicial Council has put out a public statement restating that there is no vacancy, that they had no such powers. And he's still arguing. Then there's something wrong with us. And then let me assume for a moment that he has such powers. You received a letter from a governor accusing a chief judge of financial impropriety, of several violations of the law, and you could not even send a letter to him for his response. You gathered yourself in a hall that didn't even look much like a House of Assembly chambers, and you say you have removed him. Even at creation, even when God knew that Adam and Eve had eaten of the fruit he asked them not to eat, he still asked them questions. He gave them a fair hearing. Due process of law. And there's a reason why the Constitution said that the NJC must be involved. This is for checks and balances, and so the Supreme Court held. To avoid the governor removing a chief judge at whim, whenever it pleases him. If he doesn't like your face, if he maybe tries to influence you, as it is being rumored in Benue, and you refuse, then they will gather a lynch mob. And they gather in chambers of House of Assembly and say they have removed you. Even when they have made allegations that will blight your reputation. And somebody is still arguing, and I've mentioned the case. And nobody has said that even if you think the Supreme Court was wrong, it is the highest court of the land. We must worry about the impression we give foreigners and people who want to do things with us about our fidelity to our laws. Our actions portray that nothing is certain, that even when the laws have been interpreted, that they can be discarded.